Socialist Party Scotland, and I'm also a GMB member. I'd like to thank the organisers for putting together such a fantastic demo and putting so much effort in over the last week.
Sean, hold it closer, right to your mouth. Hold the thing to your mouth.
I've come here to support the nurses in their completely just fight for fair pay. They are there to support us during the pandemic. Now it's our turn to support them, and not just by clapping once a week. Claps don't pay the bills. The COVID pandemic has changed everything. It revealed some hidden truths about our society. Workers who were previously denigrated as casual or unskilled are now key workers. Of course, we all thought nurses were always key workers. We know the hard work and sacrifice that you and all of your NHS colleagues put into providing the best possible care for your patients. Apparently, the government does not know this. Even before the pandemic, successive governments in the UK and in Scotland have presided over real terms cuts to wages. In the case of nurses, these are up to 20%. Even worse, their ideologically driven austerity since 2008 has left the NHS completely under-equipped, even in the most basic supplies such as gloves and PPE, and completely under-equipped to handle a global pandemic like we have seen, despite experts lining up since 2016 to warn that such a crisis is extremely likely. This negligence has led to the deaths of hundreds of NHS staff as they battle on the front lines. People in Britain are rightly proud of the NHS and the ideals for which it stands. The same cannot be said for this government. They voted to keep the NHS on the table in future trade deals with Brexit, including local MP Douglas Ross. So it might not just be a fair wage increase we're fighting for in the future, but the very existence of free at the point of need healthcare in the UK. The government, politicians, Boris Johnson are supposed to be the leaders of this country. Surely that should mean that at a time of crisis like now, they should be there to lead the country. But they think it's fine to take a 3-month holiday all at once in the middle of a pandemic. But if the nurses, cleaners, porters, lab technicians, hospital cooks and carers decided to collectively take even a day or a week off work, society would grind to a halt. So who really holds the power? Who are the real key workers in society? The low levels of pay nurses and healthcare staff endure has led to the situation where there are thousands of vacancies for clinical staff at the same time as waiting list targets are routinely missed. As we have seen with the threatened closure of the RNI here in Inverness, the powers that be will use any excuse to cut services, including during the pandemic. Yet the reason for austerity is not a lack of money. The UK is still the 6th largest economy in the world. Here in Scotland, the 80 richest people have a combined wealth of over 80 billion. According to the PCS, the Civil Service Union, 120 billion in tax goes uncollected each year. But NHS providers have a deficit of 13 billion, which threatens their existence. The solution is simple. Take the money from the rich and give it to the key workers in public services. In unequal Britain, the rich get richer even during the pandemic. When their profits are threatened, they get bailed out. Therefore, we think it is not too much to ask for nurses, NHS workers and carers who play the most vital role in protecting us to receive a key workers' level of pay to match the role we play. Let's fight for an immediate 15% pay rise for all NHS staff. But let's not forget, it's not just the NHS that is under attack. Councils and other vital public services have been the victim of austerity for over a decade. Highland Council is planning to make a further 37.5 million in cuts this financial year, putting more lifeline services at risk. And in the private sector, there's a jobs bonfire. Here in Inverness, the largest private employer, Lifescan, is once again paying off staff, this time blaming COVID. Tesco are laying off key workers. despite paying out hundreds of millions to shareholders and profits. Manufacturing and retail companies are collapsing. 600,000 have been made redundant. 9 million more are on furlough. And employment catastrophe awaits when this scheme ends in autumn. Thousands working in the Highlands in tourism and hospitality, among others, have been thrown on the dole. It's time unions, communities, workers, key workers got together and started a mass campaign to stop COVID austerity, fight for better pay for key workers like nurses, fight all job losses, and to demand the money stolen from our public services by Westminster be returned. Councillors and politicians should stop accepting the logic of cuts and instead set no cuts budgets which meets the needs of their communities. Another point to mention, especially pertinent in the Highlands, is care homes. The disaster home farm has highlighted the fact that no one should profit from worried families in their time of most need. HC1, who run Home Farm, are a large capitalist company with offshore investors, yet they can't provide proper contracts or even basic PPE to key workers, and hundreds of residents have died in their homes due to negligence during the pandemic. This situation cannot continue. We say nationalise the care homes under democratic workers' control. The unequal system that we live under, capitalism, is a virus. The symptoms are poverty, low wages, cuts to services, cuts to nurses' pay and job losses. But we have the cure, workers' unity, in other words, socialism. Together we can fight and win a better society, a society which values health and NHS workers' pay, not profit, and puts the needs of the 99% above the profits of the richest 1%. Key workers, nurses, the working class are the people who pull society through lockdown. Let's fight to ensure it's not key workers and nurses who need to pay the price for capitalism's failures. Thank you.